Hey everybody, Flash Rasman back again in Revolutionary Barriers. Trying to survive our current rather difficult situation. Right, where were we? Turn to this state so I can look. Hang on, let's have a look. Got 2 days before we go to that party. So let's explore. We've got 2 days. Do we have any level of exhaustion? Oh yeah, I've got a level 2. So I'm thinking to myself, Cafe Principe, or Necessary Honesty, or let's go to Necessary Honesty. Not everyone in visiting Paris has the wry subtlety that you've grown used to. Some are far more blatant, however, that's not always a bad thing. Let's visit this location. You decide to spend the day wandering the Fountain Square, as it's a warm day and plenty of people will be congregating there, which usually means a good place for finding information. Perhaps you better find something that Pierre would find valuable. You survey the area and everyone here already looks like they've had someone to talk to, which is concerning. Approaching a stranger is easy, approaching a group of them by yourself is far more daunting. Curse the audacity of these strangers, how dare they have friends? You spot a man who's just taken a seat by himself at a table at a nearby cafe. He's spread out a great sheet of paper and weighed down the corners with empty saucers. You approach him, but he doesn't acknowledge you at first, then appears totally lost in his document. From the looks of it, it's some kind of diagram or blueprint, but the exact details are lost on you. Bonjour, madame, he says without looking. His accent is foreign, but you're unable to place it. It sounds either Austrian or Hungarian. My name is Christophe, if that's what you're going to ask. What business is it you have here? Well, I'm always looking to meet someone or learn something new. I have nobody else to talk to. Indulging in curiosity, what are you doing? Right now I'm studying a 400-year-old church, determined why it hasn't fallen down, despite our complete lack of renovations the last 100 years. The priest has insisted to me that it is a miracle, but I can't imagine the Lord using miracles to reward a century of shoddy maintenance. Gestures to the chair, customer, please take a seat. You do so unsettling, finally feeling a little more comfortable in the situation. Got some credibility. What to do with that? Taking the eyes off the document, he waves over a waitress and orders some coffee. When it arrives, you take a sip. It is sweet coffee, strong and hot. It's also quite invigorating. You've lost a level of exhaustion. Happy days. Judging from your interest in the affairs of strangers, I can imagine you've also a thirst for gossip. Yes, while this is true, you're not sure if he had to put it quite so cynically. Then, would you prefer to learn something? Would you prefer to learn something interesting about the military or the revolution? Yeah, really, please tell me what you've learned about it. Yeah, as I suspected, here's what I've learned. He spends the next few minutes detailing some gossip concerning the revolution. It is certainly an interesting story, but something about the whole exchange feels rather untoward. Without the pretense of intrigue, it seems so heartless and mercantile. You've gotten a piece of shocking revolutionary gossip. You've lost some credibility. You two of you talk for a little while longer, but the conversation eventually winds down. He pauses to check his pocket watch. He says, I'm sorry, but I must head to the Bastille if I'm to study it. I will need to do so before I lose the sunlight. Au revoir, madame, he says, before he packs up his material and drops some coins at the table for your respective refreshments. He departs and he's sad to leave as well before it gets too dark. I wish every meeting was that easy, because that was far too easy. Okay. The next morning you wake from a long night's rest feeling pretty much the same as you did last night. Now that you think about it, you're feeling tired. You've been feeling tired since that terrible part a few days ago. Camille enters the room, carries some breakfast. Bonjour, madame, you look unwell. No, it's a little rude to say that aloud, but you're right. Nicely spotted, Camille. I also feel unwell. Well, don't worry, this sort of thing used to happen to Monsieur Armand all the time. He would attend all those parties and forget that sometimes he needed to rest. Armand was always the sort of person who burned the candle at both ends. In fact, you were often both guilty of this, which is one of the reasons the two of you got along so well together. Right, this is me talking to myself. The more parties he attended, the more exhausted he was, which makes things harder and harder for him. Remember, madam, instead of spending the day outside, you can always rest at home for the day to recover your strength. There's nothing wrong with taking a break every now and then. Home is now available on the Paris map. Do you think you'll stay at home tonight? I think we will. Yes, I think we will. Yes, I might just do that. Oui, madame, she replies. So let's look at this party. So it's a church buy. Okay, clothes, church wardrobe. We got anything the church likes. Right, so we can get away with that. Okay, we can get away with this. Fine, we'll go with that. Right, so let's get out of here. Calendar. Let's go to explore Paris. Let's stay at home and remove any exhaustion we've got before we take on the next party. You decide to take the day off and spend the rest of some time at home resting and recuperating. After spending the day and taking care of yourself and do some light reading, you finally feel recharged. Exhaustion that has been affecting you before has passed. You no longer have any level of exhaustion. With that complete, you turn your focus on all the matters that demand your attention. 26 March 1789. Journal. A trio of third estate delegates in Paris for the States General were detained by the Guet Royale, with Guet harassing honourable men or forced to act against boorish provocateurs. Ooh, interesting. Right, so let's go to the party, shall we? Because it's a choir recital. Okay, that is... What are you? You are a... you're a bourgeoisie. So if I get a journal, not journal, I'll get a wardrobe. Bourgeoisie, let's see what we've got. We are going to need to go shopping for dresses, but I'm not entirely sure we can afford any. Let's go to the party in our humble caraco and skirt. As the carriage enters, you near the part. As your carriage nears the party, you consider taking one last moment to assess your preparations. Yep. Anything to do? Yeah. No, I don't know what this actually does, because preparations like this results tonight could be a toss up. You step down out of your carriage and hear ripple whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. There's a small line in the hall entry of the cathedral as the guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in the line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumour. You make a mental note of it just in case. We've got some cheap gossip. As the servant checks your invitation, everything seems to be in order. Not to enter the party, please take this gift of wine along with the compliments of our host. Can we afford 10 livres? No, we can't. She curtsies you as you pass her by and enter the party. If I could have paid for that wine, I could have paid and I would have got rid of some pebble, but we haven't really got enough pebble to worry about. Now let the games begin. So we've got 4 conversations. We've got a jilted gentleman. Yeah. We've got being a woman who could consider the church. Got some nice gossip there. We've got over here. You come across a woman interviewing a man for the sake of her book, but something doesn't seem quite right. The man's outraged claims. Or we have got, you come across a priest often a corner hiding from the guests. He sees bookish show, but also quite sweet. Something about it feels like, but oh, hang on, ew. We did Ludovicchio to death in the last run, so although I want to go back again, but see if I can do it different to get a different result. However, I'm gonna go with this one because I've done Ludovicchio already, so I'm gonna go and pick our over here because there's kind of possibilities for interesting things over here. You step back into the vestibule for a moment so you can collect your thoughts and get your first opportunity to speak with. And let's start that again. You step back into the vestibule for a moment so you can collect your thoughts and get the first opportunity to speak with any new arrivals to the party. Then you see 2 individuals speaking together in a corner. The fact that they're trying to stay away from everyone else only increases your interest in the conversation. You recognise neither the bespectacled woman nor the extravagantly dressed gentleman that she's speaking with. However, judging from the fact she pauses to write down whenever he speaks, he can surmise that she's interviewing him. It becomes apparent via your spying that these people are Nika Ikov, a foreign author looking for an inspiration for her latest novel, as well as Guillaume de Sable, a self-styled libertine philosopher, and an appellation that doesn't seem to require much in the way of academic credentials. You described yourself either as a patron. You described yourself earlier as a patron of the arts. What is your relationship with the theatre? Have you sponsored any performances? I'm no mere tight-fisted patron, good madam. I am an inspiration, a muse, if you will. In fact, when Beaumarchais, again, I will apologise for butchering the French language, wrote The Barber of Seville, I was his inspiration for Count Almaviva. Yeah, in this one. The sharp-addressed man proudly replies with long gulps of wine. What you remember of the play, that's not something to be particularly proud of. It also doesn't sound even vaguely true. Oh, this will be fantastic for our book, Monsieur. I must ask, how did you and Monsieur Beaumarchais meet? Oh, well, we met at a banquet held by visiting Algonquian prince. So did you say Algonquian prince he came across the ocean from the Americas and then held a banquet? The author replies, far more suspicious of this particular claim. Guillaume glances to you and raises an eyebrow. He knows his game is almost up. I know this sounds outrageous, but he's serious about the banquet. I was there myself. It seems unlikely because it never happened. This is just a fable. Curses, Guillaume says with a sneer, shooting you a nasty look. You gain a little peril. You're simply no fun at all, madam, he continues, shaking his head in disgust. I shall find my entertainment elsewhere then. Monsieur de Sable drains his wineglass and storms over the sour look on his face. While the moment seemed unpleasant, it means that you have some decent gossip, given that you've caught a prominent figure of the bourgeoisie flagrantly lying about his accomplishments. Cheap bourgeois, you see gossip. After a few shocked seconds, Madame Ikov gives you a slow curtsy. Merci, madame. I know it may seem unimportant to most, but my research for this novel is very important to me. I shall appreciate you care enough to stop one filling it with outlandish falsehoods. Credibility. With that, she leaves and you decide to examine the rest of the party. Perhaps you'll find another opportunity out there amongst the crowds. So who have we got? We've got Piers. This is basically rob something from a room. Oh, Sidotis disappeared. People with them, there's some gossip for the church. All you have to do is deflect the tiresome bloviating of a particular boastful church patron. Your presence hasn't gone unnoticed by those who consider themselves extremely pious. For some unbelievable reason, they doubt the honesty of your intentions here. Okay. Or we've got a jilted gentleman who sought out your company is quite a gushy settle. I am going to go with this pair. Your latest conversation is taking place in a rather gaudy chapel, separated from the rest of the guests. Bathed in the light of a few votive candles, you are speaking with a woman who apparently knows quite a bit about the party's host. Any gossip you manage to obtain from her would clearly concern the church, even if it's on the cheaper side, it's still valuable. Silly man approaches two of you speaking at a jolly loud volume. Good afternoon, mesdames. I see you two finally are enjoying the chapel that I've donated the funds for. Quite a lovely piece of architecture, isn't it? I've often felt that the piety is the best expressed with marble and gilt. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, well, that's quite generous of you, she replies, taken aback by some disappearance in the conversation. Swollen with pride, you see him inhaling, preparing for what will be a flood of words. Then you look, my friend was telling a story that you'd love to hear. Really? You think you enjoy this? What I don't really call anyone else speaking, he replies with an accusatory tone of voice. You've lost in credibility. Not wanting to cause any more scene, you sit back and allow this interloper to flood the both of you with deluge of irrelevant stories about how important he is to local parish. Clearly never wanted to be told. Cleo was never told that humility was a virtue or silence was golden. However, you quickly realise that there's no end to self-aggrandisement, so sensing the first opportunity, the first opening his words, you leave as fast as your feet can carry you. That was a busted goose, so that was a bit of a bust, wasn't it? So we lost some novelty. We've got a country priest in Paris for the section oil has been granting asylum to accused criminals. Is he intervening on behalf of the people or obstructing justice? A coalition of members of the bourgeoisie have been investing a large amount of money in hot air balloons. Are they visionaries or are they just wasting money and ridiculous fancies? Okay, yeah. Got some gossip, we lost some credibility. Yeah, oh well. Charles Maurice de Talleyrand Périgueux, or simply Talleyrand, is a figure of much discussion in France. Born as a scion to a powerful noble family, Talleyrand's foot was maimed at an early age in an accident. Unable to participate in the dance of the courtiers or march adequately enough to serve in the military, he was deemed useless by his family. Thus he was sent into priesthood like many unwanted sons of the nobility. While he has fulfilled his duty to the church as well, he's also been the subject of much scandal. Talleyrand believes that he embodies a modern system of Catholic virtues, including his preference towards these of the common people of the nobility. However, these modern views seem to be dismissive of his vows of celibacy. Despite the infirmities that caused his family to dismiss him, he's been considered quite desirable by many women in France due to his kindness, erudition and snappy witticisms. However, actual advancements within the church have evaded him for some time. While it is known that he's been impatiently waiting for the Bishop of Bourges to finally join the heavenly host, Talleyrand has also had his eye on the post of the Bishop of Autun. A few years ago, his pious prayers were answered, and the Bishop of Autun moved to Lyon. This opening has made Talleyrand the new bishop and has given him all the power he wanted. This includes a wealth of property and a salary of nearly 50,000 livres a year. Of course, this also caused some uproar. As Talleyrand has never been to Autun, ignoring his critics, he spent the evening celebrating this good turn of fortune by dining with his mistress in the Louvre. The revolution has gained a powerful ally within the church, but the credibility of the church has been damaged for the reasons they don't require divine insight to perceive. It's interesting, this church has lost a little power. The church has moved towards a revolution by a decent amount. Interesting. And so in Paris, life goes on. These are little snapshots. So while we're living our little life, going to parties, getting gossip, you get little kind of cutscenes like this that give you a wider view of what's going on in Paris at the time, and with real life, real world characters. Except I need to be careful accepting these parties. Oh dear me, that's not going to go well. Yeah, I really should look at it, because we've now got 3 parts on the bounce. Okay. Explore Paris. So let's just have a quick look. So we have got, coming up we've got a bourgeois party. So if I look at my wardrobe, the next party is held by the bourgeoisie. We could do with a new dress. So let us go into Paris. We've got some random stuff over here to look at. Rue Mongers, Place Royale, home. While near the markets you come across your own maid of all works who seems to be a bit of trouble. Just fabric subject may appear that didn't dressmaker you know kid of a favour that requires quite a lot of guile. Let's try this one. I reckon I do. The reason why I didn't do them because I know that event and I know what happens, so I thought I'd try something different. The streets of Paris are more crowded than usual. You'll find yourself actively contending for space in the streets amongst all the bustle. Nothing about this day feels particularly special, and wonder what brought all these people out. You feel a finger tapping on your shoulder. You turn around and find yourself face to face with none other than the dressmaker Fatima. Salut Yvette. It's always nice to see one of my favourite customers outside my little shop. After a push, she sighs and says, "It's possible for you to do me a favour." Holding up a pouch of coins and pointing out the storefront. "Can you take this money, go into that dressmaker and buy something for me? You see, I used to work there for around 5 years or so, but I never got promoted." Ibly, she rubs her fingers across her hamster necklace. "So I left to start my own place, and the owner hasn't been very happy about it." The next words are a mumble. "I might have told her the only client she was fit to dress were the devil and the hangman." Yeah. "Either way, I need some spare fabric, and I'm not welcome in the shop anymore." "Of course I can help. What do you need?" "Why give them... Can't you get fabric elsewhere?" "Yeah. Oh, thank you so much." She's thrusting the pouch of lever into her hands and detailing exactly what she needs. Inside, you cheerily greeted by a woman at the counter. "Bonjour, madame, and welcome to our humble establishment." The statement downplays the reality of this place. It isn't humble at all. It is, in fact, utterly magnificent. You also get the feeling there's nothing here you can afford outside the bolts of raw fabric you'd be sent to purchase. Is there anything... your co-worker told me I could acquire some spare fabric quite affordably. Is this true? Your detailed front was ordered to salesman and continue to play up the imaginary discount that you were promised by an equally imaginary co-worker of hers. She really said that, salesman asked, looking behind the counter for some kind of note to that effect. She eyes and gives you a professional smile. "Well, I can't find anything here, but I should still uphold our reputation. I can give you the entire order for 80 livres. You paid 80 livres. On order in hand, you step outside with an armload of high-quality fabrics. How was it?" "I managed to get you a better deal and return the extra money." "Really, that's fantastic," she says, delighted as you drop the fabric and the coin you saved her into her hands. Two of you make some small talk for part where she has a lot of work to do, and you decide to explore this a little bit more for heading home. Easy enough. Next morning you find a letter on your nightstand. Camille must have bought it while you were asleep. It is sealed in blue wax with initials TD. Open up, you find a letter from Alex written in precise penmanship that makes you think of the expensive tutor's diligent patience and military discipline. "Cher Yvette, I'm truly glad that I was fortunate enough to meet you all those nights ago. However, I cannot stand that it came at the cost of such injustice being committed against you by that treacherous Viscountess de Foix. To that end, I spent the last few days gathering intelligence. I believe I found something that you will find quite interesting." Alex goes in to describe a particular fountain deep in the city. "He'd like to meet with you in secret as he's worried about someone intercepting the letter. Is your enemy really that powerful?" Alex's clue is now available to visitors in the Paris map. "Please meet me as soon as you can. I will share what I know." Ooh. Using a map, it doesn't take long to figure out where this particular fountain is. In fact, you could visit it today if you like. Hang on. If I can't move this, can I? Accept. This is going to be a nightmare. Well, we do need to visit the dress shop. I really should have thought about that before I accepted that lot. Oh well. It's going to tank our credibility, but we need to go to... so I can't do that and that at the same time. Let's go to Le Petit Magal. Visit a location. Okay, let's visit location. You are Petit Magal, find Fatima already engaged with someone else. Please, Maurice, you have to understand this place barely has two spare coins to put together right now. And I only have a few regular customers left. I simply don't have enough money, enough work to hire an extra help. I'm sorry. I understand, Fatima, it's just been months without work. I'm starting to think that I still have to leave town if I can't find something soon. Man sighs and shakes his head. Please tell me when you haven't found someone better. You know that's impossible. I've never met a man with more precise stitching than you. Oh, Fatima, you flatter. Please stop your laughs. Actually, no, please keep going. Fine, I may be great at making garments, but you in turn turn into a second skin. Anything... Hang on, I'll start that again. Fine, I may be great at making garments, but you turn them into a second skin. Anything you work on gets new life breathed into it. It's how you say... Fashion comes and goes, but well-fitting clothes never go out of style. That's the one. Oh, Maruko, you're here. Fatima yelps, suddenly noticing your presence. May I help you? Yes, I heard you correctly, madam. A tailor by trade. If you're looking for someone to employ me, I can update your outfits to restore some of their novelty and alter their sensibilities in the direction you desire. Well, that could be useful. I might also be able to help you negotiate a decent discount with a certain provider of elegant finery. He might be right, Fatima sighs. My service costs approximately 40 livres per week. Does that feel acceptable? Sounds very easy. Welcome to my household. Is he? 40 livres a week, that's an awful lot. So it's a pity I should be going then. Yeah, but that's quite expensive, that is. Now then, I might regret doing that. But then, I never really spent an awful lot like that to start with. We need bourgeoisie that we can afford. We can't afford anything like that, can we? That's cost 71. Can we afford food to cure? That'll give us that. So let's buy that. Confirm. Did I buy that? Leave the shop. Did I buy that? I hope I did. Yes, I could have got money left. You wake up, the sound of a knock on the door. Before you can go up, here, Camille, I'll get it. You recognize the door you hear. Spend a minute talking to a man with a harsh voice you don't recognise. When the conversation finishes, Camille heads up to the room. Madam, we need to talk about the rent and my wages. What would you like me to do? Well, the grumpy man downstairs was our landlord. While we're paid up our rent through the week, we need to make sure there's enough for next week. Well, we didn't need to pay him this week, but next week we'll have to find 35 livres for our rent and 5 livres for my wages, or we could be in trouble. Okay, is everything else, madam? With that, Camille heads downstairs to make your breakfast, and you're left to wonder how you'll take care of this. Quite easily, to be honest with you. When's the date on that? 8th. I'm going to decline it. Yeah, because I need some space here. Because this is going to be an absolute killer, that is. Right, so let's go in our last bourgeoisie dress. Assess preparations. Credibility's down. Yeah, it's down. Yeah, usual. You're standing, basically, every time you get to a party, you stand in the queue, you hear some gossip, you remember it, basically. Send Jack's invitation. We can't afford to do that. Courteous as you pass by and enter the party. Now let the games begin. So we've got a small wager, basic gambling, some risk. We're measuring those worth. Wrong to well, the aristocrats the title of the church's faith, both ways is money. Or there's a woman here who looks much like you. That's how this. I also know this one as well. This is a conversation we've had. While circling this conversation I've had in the previous one. While circling the party, you happen to notice something very strange. At first, you thought you were looking in a mirror, but something was simply off about the whole thing. How odd! You walk over to inspect said mirror, but you're entered by someone in the middle of your approach. Madame Descartes, please see you again. Would you be willing to indulge me for a moment, so we might be able to discuss our business again? You still remember everything we went over? No. You have no idea who the devil this is. Easy credibility. Of course, this business we did, which I know so much about. Pause to examine me for a moment. Which makes sense. That lie could have been a little more confident. I'm glad to hear that everything is in order. So many my clients who decide to barrage me with ceaseless questions. I said, you approached me early this evening. I said that you're interested in borrowing a substantial amount of money. Of course, the interest will be significant, but you've already convinced me that this isn't worth worrying about. He steps back and looks you up and down, somewhat puzzled. May I ask, if I may be so bold, as why did you change your outfit? What was I wearing before? What were before he passed failing indulgent humour? Such a curious question. Why would you ask that? Why is the only reason you'd ask that is oh no. But I'm so bad, and immediately we'll have to discuss your ones later. Replies like attempt to sound serious, but you can undertone of panic in his voice. He goes away nervously, which seems good until you realise he's still planning on trying to negotiate some kind of massive loan with you, something kind you couldn't possibly afford. However, your first priority is to find this mysterious woman who's pretending to be you. Okay, so yeah, that's something to remember. A Libertine gentleman has need of your skills to exact devastating plot to revenge a petty slight. Guess woman seems to exchange a sort of rooms you're looking for. You'll have to stave off. There's a bludgeoning boast of a young sugar magnate, or we've got study unlocked. Speaking of rob the study, I'm going to go this one. Pick the conversation. You find yourself in the middle of a conversation with a particularly energetic guest. She flirts easily between social circles and has a disarming laugh that seems to make people feel comfortable enough just to trust her implicitly. Perhaps you can practice such a laugh later. She's caught in the middle of regaling you with the rumours she's heard at the course of her various dalliances. It feels likely to be of the cheap sort, but relevant to the bourgeoisie. She's about to reach the story's climax on a massively entered conversation. Good afternoon, madams. I'll interrupt you for a moment to propose a toast. To my sugar importing company, we're having a very successful year, you see. As you're both excited to hear, we have planned for the next season, he says, not even waiting for either of you to respond. If the ball keeps talking, you'll never hear the end of her story. Excuse me, madam, sit back. You have gained some peril now, I remember, she says. She resumes telling you the story. You gain a cheap bourgeoisie gossip with their story told and its relevant details memorised. You stay and listen to the encouraging entrepreneur's various space about his company's success. He's every bit unbearable as you initially suspect. Sometimes it's awful to be right. Thankfully, you manage to find a way to tactfully excuse yourself and get as far away from him as possible. So, wine tasting. Pearl's gone up quite a bit. Yeah, so we've got college members of bourgeoisie may be investing in a large amounts of money in health. Yeah, we've had that one already. So we're 30 March 1789. First, we've got 4 days before this ridiculousness. Yeah, so it's not going to end well. Let's go to see old newspaper guy, which I can't remember his name. Pierre, that's it. Pierre's office looks marginally cleaner than before, or he's managed to shuffle the mess into a different shape. Honestly, it's hard to tell. After you spend a few moments waiting around in the entry before Pierre arrives, he seems quite enthused by your presence. Why, if it isn't my newest confidant, please come in. Have you come back with some more delicious information, or perhaps are you trying to find someone? No. Whereas I'm on, I've been trying to do. What exactly are you talking about? Playing your cards carefully. I admire that, madame. Credit has gone up. I'm referring to your absent fiancé, the Baron Armand de Marbeau, who pauses to snort a small pinch of snuff, carefully examining your face for any hint of reaction. Since you're making your acquaintance, I knew something about you was familiar, and my keen journalistic senses were wrong. Your brother Armand was quite the social butterfly, and he mentioned you often. In fact, like any good lover, he knew quite a lot about you. But how much did you really know about him? It's early February and you take a seat at your usual spot in Signe. Again, I apologise. A small town in your hometown. The hood of your coat is still up, but it's less to do with the snow outside and more to do with the fact that you don't want to talk to anyone else here. After a few moments trying to read your book but failing to really get into it, you hear a set of footsteps approaching your table. Bonjour, Vet. I hope you weren't waiting too long. Not at all, Armand. Excellent. This is the last night together for a while, so I want to make sure that's a memorable treasure. You race to the barmaid, who brings you a bottle of wine and some glasses, along with a loaf of freshly baked bread that's still steaming when it touches the table. Armand fills the glass first. My father's been talking my ear off about this particular vintage. I hope it's up to your standards. Then he fills his own raised glasses for a toast to France, to the General Assembly, and most importantly to us. The red wine is deep and full-bodied. It smells of leather, blackberries and cloves. It's still some of the best you've had, and you can tell Armand is enjoying it as well. You spend an hour finishing the bottle together, pausing occasionally to nibble at the bread, all the while trading jokes, news from around the village, and simply trying to forget that this is the last you'll see of each other for months. With the wine finished, Armand pauses to place a bottle on its side, a curious habit he's picked up from his father. He then takes a deep breath and waits for a moment, saying, "The snow appears to have stopped. Would you like to join me outside? I have something I want to show you." Outside, the night air is brisk. Even the colours of the moonlight sky are cold. It's a stark contrast from the fireside warmth of the tavern, yet, despite the open air, it feels more intimate and personal than the smell of the tavern you've left behind. While I like the La Signe as much as the next man, I prefer the end of our night with something that's just more us, Armand says in a soft, low voice. He turns and holds out his elbow for you to grab onto. Care for a walk? I'd love to. You step close to him, wrapping your arms around before you both wander off by the moonlight night. Okay, so farther on with them on, you walk on the edge of the lake, only the sound of breathing, the only sound being the whispers of the wind, the sound of your footfalls and the steady rhythm of each other's breaths. Your head leans on his shoulder, his body feels warm and familiar. The moon is full, the town distant, and it feels like you're the only two people in the entire world. Without a word, Armand leans forward and towards you, closes his eyes. Your lips meet, and his and a joyful shiver rolls through your body. His hands come up to stroke the side of your face as the other arm hugs you close. You're not sure how long the kiss lasts, but time seems to have lost some of its importance. You pull away from each other and you stare into his eyes. His face is a mixture of excitement and surprise. He whispers to you, "Hey, every kiss we have is as good as that one." And breathes deep and prepares himself for his next words. It's then a man stumbles out of the darkness towards you, glancing about himself, trying to catch his breath. "Armand, I've been looking for you everywhere. I've been looking everywhere for you," he whispers hoarsely. His accent is foreign, wholly unfamiliar. You know that it isn't French, nor is he English. Your town's relatively small, yet you still don't recognise this man. Stay silent. Charles, what a surprise, Armand starts, his voice flat and tense. "Armand, things are changing faster than you could have imagined," the man called Charles says hurriedly, pressing a small satchel into Armand's hands. In the dim light, you manage to notice a few papers sticking out the top of the bag. We all knew tensions were going to keep rising after Bishop Bonneval's killed himself, but this, Charles, Armand presses at a louder volume, glancing towards you. "Armand, I know this is hard, but France itself is at stake here," Charles continues, oblivious to your presence. "We helped guarantee your election to the bailliage, so you could do this for us," he said. "But you said it yourself, we must." Charles, Armand barked sharply and suddenly. Even the crickets and the birds seemed to go silent. Breathing deeply, Armand recomposes himself and gestures in your direction. "Charles, have you met my fiancée, Yvette Decaux? We were just enjoying our last night together before I left to prepare for the Estate General." Charles' eyes widen and seemingly notices you for the first time. "Oh, hello, madame. I was giving your thoughts to some of the important files that I forgot at home. Please excuse my intrusion. Bonne nuit, bonne nuit." With that, Charles leaves you and Armand stay to the silently for a few moments. Okay, to explain who that was. That was Charles, said Armand says evenly. I used to buy books from him by letter. Over a few months ago, we started true correspondence between myself and some of his associates. We'll be discussing politics. You share a lot of ideas in common. We share a lot of ideas in common. And what are you planning to do with those ideas? Looks away, staring across like it's something I can't tell you about, not yet. France is changing, that cannot be stopped. It is up to us to make sure that it changes for the better. Pierre, staring at you, must have got lost in your thoughts for a moment. Madame, I was asking, how old are your fiancé? There's something not right with them, I don't feel I can trust her entirely. Well, madame, I would say that in times of uncertainty, you should always seek the truth. Pierre replies quietly, leaning closer. The truth may hurt you now, but the lies will always hurt you more later. Of course, I cannot work for free. My esteemed newspaper comes first. However, I can still provide you with some good leads in exchange for your help. You see, I'm looking to run a new social piece, something that will capture the imagination of the public. Pierre favours you with a broad toothy grin. It may also rekindle some old rivalry, so to speak. After all, it's easier to sell newspaper if there's something to write about. If you bring the gossip related to the church, I'll tell you where to learn more about your estranged amende. Pierre's asked for overview. Sell him specific types of fresh gossip. In allotted time, and always see special rewards. You can track these requests in the gossip tab of the journal. Once you get this gossip, my journalistic genius shall handle the rest. Now to business. So let's sell him that. So we'll sell him the gossip. No chance of finding it. Cracking. Thank you, madam. This is a conversation trash my steam readers require. I'll take care of the reward immediately. Yep. Can we 1 in 20? We'll flog that. Sell. 1 in 10, we'll flog that. Bourgeoisie, sell this gossip. 1 in 4, well, let's not. 1 in 4, let's flog that. God, let's take the risk. Let's flog it. 1 in 3, let's not. Pedal influence, we can't. Let's keep hold of that. Let's just go home. Pierre classes hands together like, Madame, it appears you have done me great service. With this letter goes back, I can't launch my controversial social piece yet. In fact, your contribution has been so great that it must be recognised. Madame Co, you are no longer a mere gossip monger. Today you are a journalist. You've reached the rank of journalist at La Trompette de Peuple. The title itself is meaningless, but certainly sounds nice. Now, I assume you wish to know more about your beloved Armand. What do you want to know? Make sure that Armand man should keep something rather opinionated company. P.S. is careful circumspection of someone severely downplaying the seriousness of the situation. Although the details of their beliefs have been remarkably difficult to track down, I know 2 things about their views. The first is they show an open disdain for the country's court laws and privileges, which made them unwelcome within aristocracy supporting the crown. However, they also harbour strong devotion to the Queen, which alienated them to the nationalists of the Revolution. There's a studio in the western part of the city, just south of the Seine, where he and most of the like-minded individuals prefer to discuss the proper course for the country. Painters in the front, planning in the back. Pierre starts scribbling on a piece of paper. When he hands it off to you, you find it to be an address. The Gret Royale raided the studio for months ago, arrested everyone there, Pierre explains. While supporting the Queen is certainly no crime, something about the group's beliefs was making someone in power quite uncomfortable. The studio's been abandoned ever since. Go there and you might find something that leads you to your Armand. The abandoned studio is now available for you to visit on the Paris map. Now, before you leave, madame, I hope you do not forget me and my humble paper. I still find your social insights valuable. Your social insights valuable. I'm always willing to pay for anything you can bring me. I like to think we've made good as partners, no? Pierre puts down his snuff box, faced with a deep theatrical bow. Now you flatter me, madame. Bon chance, and may God see fit to reunite you with your Armand in great taste. At the mention of God, Pierre makes a sign of the cross, but you're pretty sure he does it. He did it backwards. Adour, may I pass cross again? You pause to read social pages of the newspaper while taking your breakfast, sitting at vanity. One of the benefits of working for Pierre is to get a free newspaper every day. It's genuinely said breakfast all over the mirror when you read social pages more closely, paying attention to key details. You realise that the stories Pierre wrote years ago, so it can trace it back to you. If you can do it, then there's a good chance someone else can do it too. Decent amount of peril, yeah, of course. This, of course, will not do great things for your reputation. Loss of credibility. You put the paper down aside. With that, your day's done. Your day has only just begun. That's the problem. If you 13th accept. Yes, you have to be careful when you look at the odds. That 1 in 4. Oh, I should have kept hold of that. That 1 in 4 gossip. I should have kept hold of it and not sold it straight away. That's what I've done. As for the 1 to 1 in 3. Yeah, because the more dangerous gossip you sell, the more chance you've got of getting caught. Anyway, I think this is a perfect place to stop. I think our next episode, we've got these 2 things to do. Alice's Clue, and I think we do Alice's Clue next. So we've got 4 days. We do Alex's Clue, we've got some of these random things to pick up. So I think we'll pick up Alex's clue. We'll then pick up one of these random things. And then, so we've got 3 days. So we do Alex's clue, random event, rest for the day, then to our massive party sticks. Then we're then going to have to do rest day, and we're going to have to basically do NASCAR. I can't believe I agreed to these 4 parties on the go. But anyway, that's all for the next episode. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm having a great time, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.